Hey, speak for yourself, listeners. Before we start the show, I wanted to tell you about our brand new Fox Sports app and website, foxsports.com. Reimagined for the modern sports fan. Go ahead, download the new app now. You don't even have to pause this episode. Every day on the new app and website, you'll see the top stories in sports, plus a rich world of written content, videos, social media, and analytics to give you a 360-degree view of the most important stories of the day. Streaming live TV has never been so easy or elegant. Every Fox Sports game, including all pregame and postgame shows, are just one click away. For the extra invested fan, we also go deep with real-time wagering lines, trending prop bets, win probability, and key player projections. So download the new Fox Sports app or visit www.foxsports.com. Now, let's start the show.
Welcome to Speak for Yourself. Marcellus Wiley here. An immaculate Emmanuel Acho in your first normal suit, I would say.
It's double-breasted, Marcellus. There's still nothing normal about it.
Really? Well, pass the collection plate. You look great, Pastor, over there. Let's get it started with the Packers. Ooh, not looking this great right now. And Aaron Rodgers played in his first NFC Championship game at Lambeau Field Sunday, but it was not enough to beat Tom Brady's Bucs. Rodgers threw for over 300 yards, but he was sacked 5 times and added an interception. The Packers had a shot to tie it up late in the game, but they opted to kick a field goal instead of giving Rodgers another chance in the end zone. Take a listen to a very disappointed Rodgers after the game.
I'm just pretty gutted. It's a long season. You put so much into it to get to this point. And then, the way, we had our chances. A lot of guys' futures that are, uncertain, myself included. That's what's sad about it most.
Groucho, feel sorry for Aaron Rodgers?
I feel terrible for Aaron Rodgers, bro. That's worse than sorry, right? Like, sorry you can give someone condolences for. But my feeling for Aaron Rodgers, I can't console nor give him the condolences that he deserves. His legacy, Aaron Rodgers' legacy, is being marred by everyone else except for Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Everybody else, big dog. Let's talk about some of the headlines we've heard today. Is Patrick Mahomes the greatest of all time? Tom Brady, is he the greatest athlete in any sport? That's the things I've been reading across social media on different shows today. And what are we talking about with Aaron Rodgers? Is he underachieving? Do you blame Aaron Rodgers for the loss? Sal, can we be real? Aaron Rodgers threw for more passing yards yesterday than Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers had a significantly higher completion percentage than Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers showed out compared to Tom Brady, but because of the team and the team dynamic, we're sitting here debating if it was Aaron Rodgers' fault that they lost. And we're wondering if Tom Brady's the greatest athlete of all time. Of course I feel bad for Aaron Rodgers because all the other slouches, if you can, in comparison to Aaron Rodgers, are bringing Aaron Rodgers down. I listened to head coach Matt LaFleur's statements after the game yesterday, and Marcellus, he said...
Why'd you do that?
I had to. I was depressed because, I had the Packers winning and you had the Bucs winning, so I was depressed. And Matt LaFleur, head coach, said, I wasn't on my A game. I don't feel like I was tonight. I'm pretty disappointed. I let a lot of people down. Matt LaFleur, you don't have the luxury of letting people down right now.
Oh, really?
But guess what? It's his second year as a head coach. So Matt LaFleur is probably thinking, I'll be back here. I was here in my first year, 13-3 NFC Championship. Second year, 13-3 NFC Championship. So this is just what I do. It's easy to get here. Aaron Rodgers is thinking, this is my 16th year in the league, bruh. You know how hard it is to get here? You know how much harder it is to win here? And you gonna have an off day? You chose a terrible game to have a terrible game, Matt LaFleur. You chose a bad day to have a bad day, Matt LaFleur. Ain't no bad days right now. And your bad day cost me, and it's costing me my legacy. I feel terrible for Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, man. Hate to be on the other side of that wax, that poetic soap you were over there trying to wash and cleanse your soul with. What the hell are you talking about? You feel bad for Aaron Rodgers?
Yes. Terrible, actually.
Okay. 1, I don't feel bad for anybody playing sports for a living, including myself when I was playing sports for a living. But 2, let's not get into the rewards of the game and sound like most casual fans. They make millions of dollars. Who cares? I don't want to be that guy, even though I understand when they say that about us. I want to start where it all started. And Aaron Rodgers, when you signed up at the Little League Park and Rec up there in Northern California, Mama and Daddy said, all right, we're going to put Aaron in a football team, on a football team. Now, they had options. You know, there are other sports he could have played because Acho says because of the team and the team dynamic.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers suffered. Well, he could have played golf.
Should have. At this point, he should have.
How about tennis? My little son out there getting a little lesson or two right now. What about boxing? You got the face forward Aaron Rodgers. Why not go out there and get beat up? See? But no, he picked the ultimate team sport. So, you know what? When you get into the ultimate team sport, don't start blaming the team when things don't go your way. Acho, you're still stuck in this world where you only want to count and quantify measurables and tangibles.
Yes, sir.
And that's why you can give me stat after stat of why Aaron Rodgers played great. But then there's a transmission. It's almost like the air we breathe and the confidence that comes in the air that we transmit to each other. The belief, the fact I could look at Acho on this set, I got ultimate confidence in you. We're playing a team sport right now.
Correct.
If you come out here with a fire take like you just did, and I come out here and say A, B, C, D, hey, things not going to go well for SFY, right? Aaron Rodgers, transmit, osmosis, somehow, some way, convey your greatness to others and make it translate. But I told you before this game, he doesn't do that. I have moment at the moment, even yesterday, where he doesn't do that. But let me stick to my initial point. Aaron Rodgers knew what he was getting into when he played football. Aaron Rodgers knew what he was getting into when he became a Green Bay Packer, sitting behind Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers knew what he was when he became the great Aaron Rodgers. And for some reason, it doesn't connect. Think about it. They're never greater than the sum of his parts. The Green Bay Packers. But there is a common denominator between all the receivers that have come and gone, including someone on our show now, Greg Jennings, including all the running backs that have come and gone, all the offensive linemen, everybody. There's been one constant of underachievement. And it's
Don't say it. Don't finish it. Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is what you're about to say.
Who got his chest knocked off?
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. Here's the thing. This is why I really have no sympathy for Aaron Rodgers or anyone. There's a category of guys who don't even qualify to be called Aaron Rodgers. And it's 99% of the population that plays quarterback. True? 99% of guys who ever threw a football in their life, 99.9, are not Aaron Rodgers. Correct?
Correct.
Now, let's talk about all the guys who didn't make it. Let's talk about all the guys who made it and became flops. Let's talk about everyone underneath Aaron Rodgers, who I don't feel sorry for, because you guys all know what sports are. It's an intended meritocracy. Why is that important, Nacho? Let's be real. A little sociology here. When we first played football, at least for me, I put my hand inside of a huddle, and I looked at the other hands, and they looked different. All the way on the color spectrum, all the way different on the background spectrum, all the way different in terms of experiences. And that's why I love football. I was great at track or individual sport, but nothing felt as good as football because all of us came together and we had to do something greater than what each and every one of us individually could do. Tom Brady understands that. Aaron Rodgers has not been able to understand that to the fullest, and that's why he's in this position.
Marcellus, let me tell you what I will not do. Let me tell you what I will not allow. Let me tell you what I will not tolerate. I won't allow nor tolerate you to blame Aaron Rodgers for everyone else's shortcomings.
Can I, let's go back and forth. Let's play volleyball. I'm not blaming him. I just don't feel sorry for him. There's a big difference. Can you now understand the difference?
I can understand the difference, but let me tell you, and not even tell you, let me show you if I can why I feel sorry for Aaron Rodgers.
You up there?
It's time to go to the big board.
Was that the sympathy board?
No, not the sympathy board. It's the big board, and I feel sorry for Aaron Rodgers because osmosis can't cure the mental lapses of the Packers defense. Now, the Packers, if I'm not mistaken, they lost by 5. But this play, it cost them 6. Now, they lost by 5, and I'm not talking about this play right here because that's just messing up with Lazard.
Oh, no sympathy.
Can we run the tape? Can we run the real? Not that easy.
I feel sorry for you, Acho, right now.
Because that was bad too. But I'm talking about the play that really cost them right before the end of the half. Let's just run that. Let's run that.
Hey, it's coming. I feel sorry for you, Acho.
Yeah, you should. Because this is honestly how Aaron Rodgers won yesterday. Waiting on his team. I'm waiting on this
I love you, universe. You are amazing to me.
This is how I can empathize with them. Thank you.
Okay, here we go.
Now, look, this is the defense. This is the play right before the half. Why are you in man-to-man when there are 8 seconds left and there are no timeouts? You're in one robber. This play's a robber. Everybody else in man across the board. But I want to show you the matchup right here. Scott Miller and Kevin King. Kevin King, you only run 19 miles an hour. Scott Miller speeding in the school zone, so already back up. But also, you got a middle field safety. If you got a middle field safety, be outside leverage. If you're going to be inside leverage, why you got your arm out like this a turnstile at Six Flags? And lastly, Marcellus, man, watch your man. Who are you looking at? Somebody in the stands? And now you going to get beat and give up 6. You lost by 5. You just gave up 6, Marcellus. I feel bad for Aaron Rodgers. 1, because all he can do is play offense. And number 2, I can sympathize with somebody who's ready, but the rest of the team ain't. Come on, Marcellus. That at least had to make you feel a little bit bad?
No, I don't feel jack for him because once again, my boy, Emmanuel Immaculate Acho is the king of omission.
What did I omit, sir?
Well, what you didn't show was how Aaron Rodgers threw an interception right before the half that gave that same play by Scotty Miller, who was speeding through the school zone. That's hilarious. There will be no Scotty Miller in the school zone if Aaron Rodgers didn't want to throw that interception. But why did he throw that interception? Oh, who cares? But he threw the interception. Now I'm supposed to feel sorry for you. That ball left your hand with intention. It just didn't go where you intended. Acho, there's 2 ways I can handle this. I could be handle it like a gentleman or get into some gangster. Do you want gentlemen first? Yes, I think you do. Here's the thing. Be greater than your greatest excuse. You ever heard that? You ever felt that? You ever just looked at that and stared and said, damn, okay, that's how the life works that I'm living. This world does not care. This world does not give a damn. This world is not fair. I'm certain you've heard that. But more important, sports takes life and makes it into every day, every play microcosms of that same mindset. I don't give a damn, dog. Aaron Rodgers, you were on the number 1 seeded team this year. Last year, you were in the same game, and you are an NFC champion attendee twice, NFC championship twice in a row, consecutive years. Going against a team that is not favored, going against a team that is having a quarterback that is 43 years old, going against a team that wasn't even supposed to be in this position until they got the ultimate general. You should take that as a shot to you and your leadership in terms of what Tom Brady was instantly able to do. Think about it. Tom Brady had the same amount of NFC championship victories as Aaron Rodgers. In 16 years, he got it in 1. Bruh, I don't know how you look in the mirror, but when I look in the mirror, and if I see somebody and they got me, or they coming to get me, I don't blame them. I don't blame circumstances. I blame myself.
But you said this.
If I let them catch me.
You said you have to be greater than your greatest excuse.
Yes.
I think that's fair. But I can't be greater than your greatest excuse.
Yes, you can.
No, Emmanuel Acho can't be greater than Marcellus.
Oh, yes, you can.
And that's the issue at hand.
Well, how do you think you got here, Acho? You were greater than the excuses that you were involved with before. You don't want to go there. I know
Here's the difference. Here's the difference. If it's a team, then I'm doing my job, but I'm trusting on you to do yours. Even though football is a team sport, it's a team sport comprised of 11 different individuals that have to come together to calculate and function at the same time.
All facts.
Marcellus, Aaron Rodgers been doing his. Well, can we talk about everybody else for a second? Like, Big Dog, how do you let 31 points be given up in that game and expect you to win? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Because they averaged 31 points in the regular season. How about you do your average?
The Bucs marched down the field, 9 plays, touchdown to start the game.
Yep.
That, like, with no resistance. Right before the half, 8 seconds left, and you give up a touchdown with no resistance. Aaron Rodgers can't do nothing about that, Big Dog. He can't do nothing about that.
He can't, but he can match it. But did he match it? Oh, he didn't match it.
He severely outplayed Tom Brady.
Oh, man.
69% completion percentage, 55% completion percentage. 1 interception, 3 interceptions. He severely outplayed his counterpart.
It doesn't matter. Life's not about your counterparts. It's not. Life's a competition between you and yourself. Guess what, Mark Twain? Wileyism. Here's the thing. I don't know how many adages I could use. This is how I think. I don't blame anything or anybody for anything that comes to me. I figure out a way. I'm not saying I'm always successful in figuring it out, but I'm certainly not going to, A, blame you.
Okay.
2, blame it, circumstances, or 3, say, feel sorry for me.
Can we go here? Let's go here, because we can dance here, Marcellus, if I can have this dance.
You want to dance?
Track and field. We better go here. We better box in a track and field analogy. We bringing all the sports involved.
All right.
Track and field, 4x100-meter relay. So
Sprint relay, they call it, if you know the streets.
4 people now are running a race, running 1 lap collectively. Marcellus, you know when you go back and you watch that race in track and field and you're analyzing a 4x1 relay, you're going to say, man, that lead leg got out better than our lead leg. You're going to start comparing the same positions throughout the course of the race.
I did.
So when it comes back down to the anchor leg, the last person finishing off the race, if you will feel sorry for them if they run a record-setting leg but still lose the race because everybody before them let them down. I would feel sorry for that individual because you did your job, and you did your job better than everybody else did their job. But the ones before you let you down. That's what happened to Aaron Rodgers.
Man, I'm trying to get my take out, but all I keep hearing is, oh. I mean, look, I'm a national record holder in track, so guess what? I never felt sorry for second place. Never felt sorry for a guy who ran an amazing leg, but sorry, whether it's by location, whether it's by your teammates, whatever it is, your circumstances, I'm sorry that you are with a collection of guys that don't add up to who you are. But you know what I learned about sports, especially football? You can't judge a book by its cover. No matter who you have on your team, you can enhance their ability if you're the type of leader that can enhance others. Think about it. Did Tom Brady walk into this game with a top 5 rusher and a top 5 receiver? No, he didn't. But he was able to put up more points with less talent this year than Aaron Rodgers was. Did Tom Brady have the same offensive line that Green Bay had and Aaron Rodgers had? No. But all of a sudden, Green Bay is out there getting sacked 5 times. So everybody said, well, how can you win if you get sacked 5 times? Well, they beat Carolina when they got sacked 5 times, and I know Carolina's not Tampa. But the point is you find a way. Curtis Blow made a song, and it's before your time because I could look in your eyes and realize you don't know that these are the breaks. And that song talks about all the excuses you can make in this world. And he gives you poetic verse after verse. But at the end of the day, guess what he says? Every chorus, these are the breaks. I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers. It would help if you were more likable, baby, and people would really jump on board with this. But in reality, man, I'm sorry. I'm not feeling sorry for Aaron Rodgers. Coming up at the top of the hour, Tom Brady's headed back to the Super Bowl. We'll tell you what the GOAT proved in Sunday's win. But first, Brady's Bucs had an impressive win at Lambeau Field. But we'll tell you if we're more disappointed in the Packers. That's next. Speak for yourself.
What's up, Speak for Yourself listeners? It's your boy Shay Sharp, co-host of FS1's Undisputed. I wanted to tell you about my new podcast, Club Shay Shay, where we always do something before two something. Each week, I sit down with a guest for a drink and conversation, and as host and proprietor of Club Shay Shay, I've welcomed in esteemed guests such as Snoop Dogg, Floyd Money Mayweather, LeVar Ball, Isaiah Thomas, just to mention a few. Whether I'm talking to an athlete, a musician, an actor, or a lifelong friend, Club Shay Shay is a place where people share inspiring and motivational stories about their journeys to prominence. The new episode drops every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to Club Shay Shay now and make sure you never miss a new episode. Now, back to Speak for Yourself.
Well, welcome back to Speak for Yourself. The Bucs came out on fire at Lambeau Field Sunday. Tom Brady threw 3 touchdown passes, including a 39-yarder to Scotty Miller to end the first half. Now, the Packers fought back and had a chance late in the game to tie it up, but Green Bay opted to kick a field goal rather than give Aaron Rodgers another chance on 4th down. Now, the Packers never got the ball back, and the Bucs are on their way to the Super Bowl in their home stadium. So, Marcellus, let's dive into this one a little bit more. Are you impressed with the Bucs or disappointed in the Packers?
Oh, certainly impressed with the Bucs. It's interesting when you look at this, you only got one side or the other to pick in this binary conversation. And I don't understand how anyone could be disappointed in the Packers more so than impressed with the Bucs. Let's just talk about who the Tampa Bay Bucs are. Tampa Bay Bucs haven't been to the playoffs since 2007. Tampa Bay Bucs have had 8 of their last 9 seasons ending with a losing record. And then Tom Brady just shows up and starts violating city codes and going to parks and working out with his teammates and having virtual Zoom meetings to learn the playbook in a new system with a coach who has never won before. And then he takes his show on the road in the playoffs and has 3 straight road victories with a team that was a losing team just last year. And more importantly,
Not only does he go on the road and finally gets a victory in Lambeau Field when everyone was talking about finally Aaron Rodgers and the #1 seed favorite Green Bay Packers were at home, but he slayed that dragon as well.
He did.
And then you talk about not only slaying that dragon, but the dragon saw him coming. They beat the Green Bay Packers by 28 points in week 6. So none of this, and Aaron Rodgers kept saying, oh, that was back then, that was an anomaly. I kept warning you, okay, you better take ownership of this. Not only did he beat them in the game, but he was up 18 points in the third quarter on this same team on the road. Impressive. But that's easy to quantify. I just gave you the numbers conversation. Let me give it to you in a way in terms of intangibles, in terms of immeasurables, because we're football players, and we know one thing that fans don't understand about the game is the severity and level of violence that occurs. And I didn't know it either because I started playing football when I was 7. So all my impressionable years is just playing a violent sport. I don't know what normal laymen's feel on a day-to-day. Since 7 years old to the age of 32, I've been about these pads, okay? Let me talk about the pads I saw yesterday. And you have to see it. And if you have experience, then you feel it. Let's talk about how those pads were out there dumping yesterday, thundering, to the point where we saw it in the New Orleans Saints game, but it wasn't really a point to highlight. Let's highlight it now. When those pads are thumping, like Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan until they get smacked in the mouth.
Talk about it.
When those pads start thumping, Aaron Jones, his chest was broken, and he lost the ball, forced fumble. When those pads start thumping, sure-handed Devontae Adams was out there, oh, my God, dropping a touchdown pass and spazzing on the sidelines because those pads were thumping. When those pads start thumping, Aaron Rodgers got sacked 5 times and threw a costly interception. When those pads start thumping, you know what I saw? I saw a team lose its way. This team turned into a pure drop-back passing team when they've been a play-action passing team for the last 2 years. They forgot how to even play Green Bay Packers football to the point where the post-game press conference, what did Matt LaFleur say? I had a bad day. You know why? Because those pads will make you have a bad day. So I'm impressed by the Bucs, by the numbers, but also by the experience. They were putting hands on people.
Big Dog, last week I came up here and I didn't give the winning teams very much credit. I was disappointed in the losing teams. I'm changing that mantra this time around. I'm impressed by the Bucs.
Yes.
And I'm impressed by the Bucs because in football, for y'all at home, as an offense, you can either attack a defensive scheme or you can attack defensive players. There are 2 options. Attack the scheme or attack the players. The Buccaneers offense was so impressive because they found the weak links as players. The Buccaneers defense was impressive because they found the weak links as players. David Bakhtiari, he got hurt in practice, starting left tackle for the Packers, all-pro left tackle. He got hurt in practice about a month ago. So what do the Buccaneers do? Well, you know what? Last time we played the Packers, we brought a ton of pressure. We brought pressure 46% of the time. We needed extra men to get to Aaron Rodgers. But wait a second. This all-pro left tackle's out. We just going to win with Shaq Barrett. We're just going to win with JPP. We're not going to bring pressure as often because we don't need to. We're not going to beat you or attack your scheme. We're going to attack your men, winning at left tackle, beating the left tackle. Okay, offensively, the Buccaneers, I was so impressed with them because they said, wait, we're not going to attack your defense scheme, Packers. We're going to attack anybody not named Jair Alexander in the secondary. So Kevin King, you about to get this work. And Kevin King, he got that work. So I can't be disappointed in the Packers collectively. Now, I can be disappointed in Darnell Savage, safety for the Packers. You misplay a ball, Chris Godwin gets a 52-yard gain on 3rd and 9. I can be disappointed in Kevin King, I think a 1st or 2nd round pick just a few years back, getting beat by Scotty Miller, a 6th round pick at a Bowling Green. Like, you can't let that happen, specifically and particularly to end the half. Most important times of games at the end of halves and at the end of the game itself. Can't let that happen. Disappointed in individuals, but overall, collectively, I'm impressed by the Buccaneers. Well, let's bring in a former Packer, Greg Jennings, NFL analyst.
Finally.
So, Greg, you let us know, are you impressed with the Bucs or were you disappointed in the Packers?
Can I be 100% real? Because that's what I am.
Finally.
Both. I was both. And I know y'all going to be like, you got to pick one. I was disappointed because my heart was with the Packers. I thought this was the year. And their performance showed me that a lot. Number one, all year long, they were able to scheme up ways to get Davante Adams open and keep him involved to a degree of where he impacted the game. He had so little impact, it was drastically impactful on their own offense because you saw Aaron Rodgers just not even look at him in crucial situations. When they had the free play and he's running down the field wide open, who do we typically see Aaron Rodgers look to? Davante Adams. And I get it. You start nitpicking and you see the fourth down, but the third down was crucial because Aaron Rodgers, typically I'm thinking, just run. Just, you got it, run. So my heartstrings, I was disappointed because I didn't see the Packers really do every single thing that they possibly could to win that game. But then I turn and look at the Bucs, and I'm impressed with them for all the reasons you guys mentioned. Tom Brady, the way he came out and played that game and executed in the crucial moments of the game, the 2-minute windows, and then the others. And when I say others, I'm not talking about Shaq Barrett. I'm not talking about Devin White. I'm talking about the secondary, Murphy Bunting. I'm talking about all Scotty Miller. When their numbers were called, as minimal as they were,
ready.
They stepped up and they were ready. And that is a credit to coaching, Byron Leftwich, trusting. I'm talking about, they went 3rd and 10 to a young rookie. Johnson, like a young rookie. Brady trusts every man to a T on that roster to where it's like, okay, just call the play. I'll get it to the open guy. The open guy is young Tyrell Johnson. Get it to him. Makes a play. End of the second half, right before the second half, right before the second quarter is over, Scotty Miller, inside fade. I trust you, go win. I'll put it where it needs to be. They make a play. And then Todd Bowles on the defensive side.
Boy.
I can't give him enough credit because he schematically eliminated Davante Adams, and you could see it really disrupted what the Packers wanted to do. He also, but the players, they have to do their part, and they did. You talked about it, Marcellus. Them pads was thumping. You saw the hit on Jamal Adams. You saw those hits on Aaron Jones. I mean, when your impact players get impacted to the point to where they are no longer an impact, that is not only scheme,
That's a bar.
but that is also them guys on the other side of the ball bringing that heat too.
Yeah, man. Look, you broke it down there. First of all, Aaron Rodgers shouldn't have run on that play. Everyone keeps talking about Aaron Rodgers should have took off. I want you guys, like I did in a moment, because my naked eye, my football instincts, my football experience said, why isn't Aaron Rodgers running this ball? Go back like I did and just look at Devin White.
He was ready.
Devin White said, go ahead, Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers said, okay, I won't. And that's all that was. I mean, look, I played against Ray Lewis at times, and Doug Flutie used to run around in circles. And when we saw Ray Lewis, Doug Flutie didn't want to run the same way. So I think that was something that's a misnomer out there. That said, man, these Buccaneers found a way to win. Peep out some of these nuggets right here. One, they didn't even have Antoine Winfield Jr. in the secondary and still was able to have their way against Davante Adams, only 67 receiving yards. And I played with Antoine Winfield Sr., so I understand those bloodlines in terms of greatness at that position. But the Buccaneers are the only team ever to play a conference championship game on the road, more turnovers and fewer yards, and still win the game. Hold on now. So wait a minute. 0-34 was the record of teams that went out there before them. And then they said, doesn't matter. We're going to find a way to get this done. Tom Brady, everybody keeps talking about, well, Aaron Rodgers outperformed him. Acho brought it up. Great point, except quarterbacks to throw 3 or more interceptions in a playoff game are 20 and 104. That's the other guys. You know what Tom Brady is? 3-1 in those same games. Tom Brady just finds a way. Everybody can say, well, it's his defense. It's just not that simple, guys. I just told you, hey, we have more turnovers. Hey, we have fewer yards. It's a different equation in terms of leadership. So if you look at him, when Davante Adams can't ball, Aaron Jones had 27 yards and 2 fumbles. What the hell is this? Held the Packers to 6 points after 3 turnovers. Man, there's so much going on right here that you can't just say one thing, but overall, you're impressed by this whole Buccaneers roster.
Correct. I'm Marcellus. I get disappointed when people act out of character. You feel me? Like,
Okay.
I get disappointed when people do things that I've never seen before. Remember last week, I was disappointed in the Saints and Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Brees, you don't ever throw 3 picks. Like, what are you doing? Offense, Saints, y'all have never turned the ball over 4 times all season. Y'all acting out of character. But the Packers, they didn't act out of character. I mean, yeah, in theory, you're right about Davante Adams, but he still had 9 catches. Like, that's in character for Davante Adams. Packers defense, they were atrocious, but through the first 3 weeks of the season this year, they were giving up the most yards per play. Through the first 6 weeks of the season, they were giving up the 10th most yards per play. Packers defense, we knew they were bad. They've been bad. Aaron Rodgers, 70% completion percentage yesterday, 3 touchdowns in character for him. Nothing the Packers truly did was out of their character. But what the Buccaneers did was go above and beyond and exceeding their character. We don't talk enough, Sel, about that Aaron Jones hit that knocked him out the game. You talked about it, talked about it, but remember, Aaron Jones, a top 5 running back in the National Football League, and he didn't just leave on his own fruition. Like, he didn't just leave because he wanted to. He got hit so hard that he was like, hey, man, this body ain't going to do what it's going to do.
Tap out.
For that reason, and because we made such a big deal about the Buccaneers being intimidated by the weather, first possession of the game, 9 plays, touchdown. Buccaneers weren't scared of nothing. For that reason, I'm definitely impressed.
Yeah, again, I'm going to go to the side of being impressed with the Bucs and talk about their depth. And just from start to finish, all season long, we kind of questioned this team. And because we've seen super teams get put together in this fashion. But what we haven't seen is a quarterback like Tom Brady that doesn't just beat you with his skill set, but he mentally prepared this team for this moment. Like a guy like Devin White, or Levante David, but Devin White, who gets snubbed in the Pro Bowl, and you hear the comment of, look, we don't play for that bowl. We play for a bigger bowl. Like, he was able to get them to see the bigger picture of why. And that allowed them to dig a little bit deeper to understand this one goal was more important than any individual agenda or any individual accolades that I could possibly get. That would set aside or remove us or derail us from getting to this one place. Tom Brady did that. That's what he brought to the table. Then the depth of this team has been impressive to me all year. Their ability to lose a guy, insert a guy. I mean, they don't drop off. Like when AB didn't play, but did it even matter? It didn't even matter. Do they feel like they missed AB? They're like, yeah, we missed AB, but we know what we got. When you look at, you talked about Winfield Jr. not playing. Did they miss him? Do we know the caliber player he is? Yes. But when you trust your guys and when everyone feels like, look, I'm that guy too, because of the guys you bring in that locker room, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, all year long, bingo, just blocking tight end, and they use him in a critical moment of the game where he's unselfish enough to say, you know what, I'll block all game. And then he gets a critical screen, and they convert critical third downs in moments because of because of the depth that they have in the buy-in of this team has been impressive to me all year. And this is why we're going to watch them in a couple weeks in the Super Bowl at home.
Yeah, I'm glad, Greg, you were saying exactly what I've been saying, even in the last block, about that trust, that belief. I mean, just be real. I know sometimes we get lost in the relative experience of the NFL, but don't forget, everybody in the NFL is a collection of all Americans and all conference players. Like, everybody can play football in the NFL. But then when you get to the NFL level, you go against grown men and superstars. Sometimes a guy may lose his way, may lose his confidence. But when Tom Brady's in the building, somehow, some way, he's like, next man up, and I believe in you, so you should believe in yourself. I got to push back a little bit about out of character. Davante Adams had 67 receiving yards yesterday. He averages 98. That's out of character. Aaron Jones had 27 rushing yards yesterday. He averages 79. Pop, pop. Them pads will make you get out of character and change your name and sit on the sideline. So when I look at a Bucs team, first wild card team in 10 years to advance to the Super Bowl, only 4 teams in history before the Bucs have won 3 straight road games on the way to the Super Bowl. And on the way to the Super Bowl, y'all, he didn't take the alley. He didn't take the back streets. He said, hey, Drew Brees, what it do? And then he said, Aaron Rodgers, what up? I mean, this dude is riding down Broadway flossing, and it ain't gonna stop. We'll see in 2 weeks. It's on. Coming up, Josh Allen fell short in his first AFC Championship game. We'll tell you what he thought of the Bills quarterback. That's next. Beat, boy, yeah.
Hey, Speak for Yourself listeners. It's Charlotte Wilder here to tell you about my new podcast with Mark Titus called the People's Sports Podcast. It comes out every Thursday, and Mark and I take one of the big stories of the week, and then we go off on tangents you never saw coming. This might mean that we start talking about the Dodgers winning the World Series and end up wondering if Knicks fans deserve happiness. Or begin with LeBron's greatness and end up drafting our ultimate beer league softball team made up of old athletes. Whatever it is, the only rule of the show is that it has to be fun and funny, because these days we could all use as many laughs as we can get. So check it out wherever you get your podcasts and come down weird sports rabbit holes with us. We can't wait to have you. Now, back to Speak for Yourself.
Saturday, Caleb Plant, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in boxing, puts his perfect record and super middleweight title on the line against Caleb Truax. Saturday, 8 Eastern on Fox Sports app. Wow. Welcome back. Josh Allen made his AFC Championship game debut Sunday, but it did not end the way he wanted. Allen helped the Bills get an early lead with a touchdown pass in the first quarter, but he did not get in the end zone again until late in the fourth. Allen finished with a pick and was sacked 4 times. After the game, he said, quote, I didn't perform well enough for this team. So, Acho, are you disappointed in Josh Allen?
Absolutely. And I know this is your adopted son, Bills Mafia.
That's my son.
Y'all are all in
Don't
this.
ask me who his mama is, because they don't look the same, but that's my son. That's my dog. I love this dude.
I'm disappointed in Josh Allen, but I'm not surprised. Remember what I told you on Friday? Before you can ascend to the mountaintop, you got to struggle. You got to struggle. Patrick Mahomes, he lost to the Patriots the first time, and then the next year won a Super Bowl. I'm not surprised at Josh Allen's poor performance. I'm not mad at Josh Allen's poor performance. But like your mama used to do you.
What?
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed.
What you say about my mama?
Because, bro,
what?
How you go out there and have a bottom 5 completion percentage for you all season? A 58% completion percentage? Josh Allen, again, you chose a bad game to have a bad game.
I like it.
You can't do that. You're esteemed too high. We talked about who was in these playoffs. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and you, Josh Allen. You were the last one making up this quartet. I think that's 4. Making up this group of 4 in these championships. But Josh Allen, what was you doing, boo-boo? Passer rating of 80, league average is 92. Josh Allen, it makes sense to me. You were ready for the stage, hottest team in football. You would put up 56 points, 38 points, 48 points. Those are the scores you've put up over the last 6 games. You put up some scores like that, then you come out here and lay an egg, national stage.
That's an egg?
Oh, that was an egg.
That's an egg?
58% complete. That's an egg. You come out there and lay an egg when your team needs you most. I'm not mad, but I'm disappointed.
Boy, you in your feelings. You disappointed. You feel sorry for Aaron Rodgers. You put on that grown suit, and then you just start acting all kitty up here. I don't feel jack. This is not a disappointment to me. This was appointed. And you actually said this in your take. This is what exactly he was supposed to do. Go out there.
Supposed to?
Yes.
Okay, talk about it.
I mean, in the scope of how teams go through growing pains and their leaders go through growing pains, Jordan, and they had to go against Jordan rules and the Pistons. We got thousands of examples. Except Magic Johnson, kind of rookie year. But anyway, the point is, you have to go through the growing pains. And this was just a growing pain experience. Simple as that. Okay. You mentioned the almighty Patrick Mahomes lost his first AFC Championship game. And his completion percentage was 51%. Now, if 58% is an egg, what was Patrick Mahomes? I didn't work with you then, but what would you have said then? And look how it turned out for Patrick Mahomes. This was appointment viewing for Josh Allen. I also go back to the best quarterback ever and my favorite quarterback in Peyton Manning, who was drafted a year behind me, 1998. AFC Championship game? Nope. 99? Nope. 2000? Nope. 2001? Nope. 2002? No, 2004? 2005? Damn, Peyton Manning, when are you going to win an AFC Championship game? 2006. Peyton Manning? So look how it turned out for Peyton Manning. The point of all of this is you got to look at him in totality. You have to look at him in terms of complete growth. Year 1, 10 touchdowns. Year 2, 20 touchdowns. He ain't going to double up again, is he? Year 3, yeah, bruh, that boy doubled up. He ain't going to do 80 next year, but the point is, Josh Allen is in his progression, and he just went through a growing pain right before our very eyes. I was rooting for the Bills, and I thought they would hang in this game. I didn't think that they were going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
You said they were going to beat.
I find it on record. I put a thigh wow on it right now. I know what I say. I perfectly said hang. He didn't have to give us the joysticks. He only lost by 14. You know how it is. 21, skunk move, controller, give it up. He was still in this game. Hey, dog, I do this on purpose. This ain't my first rodeo.
Let me say
So
this.
the point is, I'm not disappointed. That's my point.
My point is I can't stand you. But my second point is, Sal, just because you expect something to happen doesn't mean you can't be disappointed in the action.
I love it.
Okay?
I love it.
It was my last day, actually, in Philly. And I had told some friends, I told a young lady, like, yeah, last day we'll go out to eat, celebrate the last day in Philly.
Oh, just
Here's the problem. Here's the problem.
Do you?
The problem is, your boy like casinos. So, man, my last night in Philly, I go to the casino. I go to Sugar House in Philly, and what happens?
Sugar House?
It's called Sugar House.
What y'all gamble with? Food?
So look, bro, let me get my story out.
Right,
So
go ahead.
I said we were going to go to dinner, but I go to the casino. I was going to be quick. In and out. I ended up at the casino till 3 a.m. in the morning.
Addict.
I look at my phone, it's blown up. I'm like, my bad. Obviously, I set myself up for failure. But there was still some disappointment that I stood up the engagement.
Yeah.
Marcellus, of course, Josh Allen was set up for failure. Warning signs last week against the Ravens. Another terrible outing, really, by Josh Allen standards and by their offensive standards. If you read the warning signs, you knew it was probably going to happen. Sure, you can say the action was appointed, but you can still be disappointed in the appointed action. I understand stage was bright. I understand the lights were big. But still, Marcellus, understanding just how hot the Bills were, Josh Allen second in the MVP race by all of our eyes and our standards this year, even if it was appointed, I am still disappointed.
Look, all I took away from that is she didn't look as good as Josh Allen plays, because if so, you wouldn't have been, it's 3:30, my bad.
You never know, man. I mean, they better look real good to pass
There's
up
a casino
facts.
in every city somewhere, especially these sugar houses. Anyway, his quarterback rating improved 40 points in 3 years. You're forgetting that. And it's been a week or so since I took a shot at Baker Mayfield. Can't let it go any longer. Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen were drafted into the same draft class,
Yes,
correct?
sir.
Who was pick number 1? Oh, Baker Mayfield. Okay, so he should have had more improvement over the years than maybe the guy picked number 7. Oh, no, it doesn't go that way. We're talking about a completion percentage with Josh Allen, 16.4% in those 3 years. Meanwhile, the top pick in his class declined by 1 in completion percentage and dropped. And his quarterback rating has improved only 1.6. Josh Allen is doing this. And sometimes we forget that it's still a roller coaster ride, even in success.
For a second, can we go micro? Macro.
More than that?
Here's the difference in what you're doing, Marcellus, versus what I'm doing. You were ignoring the fatal flaw that occurred last night and talking about all the good that's happened over the course of this relationship.
Playing the Chiefs?
That's a fatal flaw.
That's a fatal flaw.
You're ignoring, no, Marcellus, we're arguing about last night, big dog. Don't start talking to me about how you brought flowers 3 years ago and how Josh Allen has improved. No, let's talk about how Josh Allen stood you up last night. I don't care what he did to you 2 years ago.
I'm at the Sugar House. Okay, fine. He accounted for 375 yards. You just gave me a whole block on how you feel sorry for Aaron Rodgers, because he did all he could do. Josh Allen didn't do all he could do, but 375 total yards in the game, that was more than Patrick Mahomes in his loss in his first AFC Championship game. You want to keep it micro?
Please.
Let's talk about he's the 3rd player in Super Bowl era to have those type of numbers, and the other 2 lost as well, Steve Young and Lamar Jackson. Hey, all right, let's keep it micro. He went against a team that was already Super Bowl champions, at home, favorites, and look at them, they're a track meet with continuity. Think about that, man. This is the first time he got to this level, AFC Championship level. And you know this from your NFL experience, at least I do. Day 1, you think you're ready. But all you're really doing is just witnessing and seeing. You're trying to exude all the confidence, display all your talents, but really, you're just trying to see what's on this level. I mean, I remember the first time I went against John Fina, Reuben Brown, perennial Pro Bowler and Reuben Brown, and he just had different strength than me. In the weight room, nobody could touch me, dog. Because at Columbia, that's all I could focus on. I got to be bigger, faster, stronger than everybody. Then I got on the field, I was like, what is man strength? Oh, I just found out. I'm hooked up to a fence as I'm getting bulldozed every single play. And I think Josh Allen just had that moment of truth where he just broke through a different stratosphere and was like, oh, this is how it is? I'll be back. Patrick Mahomes did it. He came back with a win. We'll see how Josh Allen and the Bills respond going forward. Coming up, Tom Brady has now led two teams, I said 2 teams, to the Super Bowl. We'll tell you what he proved in Sunday's win. Next, speak for yourself. Sugar House. You're watching Speak for Yourself. Marcellus Wiley, Emmanuel Immaculate Acho. Let's get back to the Bucs. When Tom Brady became the 4th quarterback to lead 2 franchises to the Super Bowls on Sunday. Brady started off red hot, including a touchdown pass to Scotty Miller to end the first half. He finished with 3 touchdown passes, but also added 3 interceptions as well in the second half. The Bucs still held on for the huge win on the road, and the GOAT is headed to his 10th Super Bowl. Greg is back with us, Vacho. What did Tom Brady prove in the W?
On the field, he proved nothing, if we're being honest. Like, on the field, my dog threw 3 interceptions in the second half. He only had a 55% completion percentage. So what Tom Brady himself proved? Absolutely nothing. But I will say, like Bruce Arians said, Tom Brady proved that he can get everyone to believe on the team. Like, and in all honesty, maybe that means more.
Yes.
Because Tom Brady and his play, it was very, very, very poor. But think about what the Buccaneers defense, what they did, and that belief that he allowed in them. Because Jason Pierre-Paul, he was on the Bucs last year. Shaq Barrett, he was on the Bucs last year. Sue, he was on the Bucs last year. Them DBs, they were on the Bucs last year, but they played at a higher level in the biggest moment, and I will give part of that to Tom Brady. Maybe that's misplaced praise, but it's going to go to him nonetheless, because when I talk about what did Tom Brady prove, he ain't really proved nothing for me. 7 of 14 in the second half, 1 TD, a 51 passer rating in the second half. League average is 90. Tom Brady, the individual, tangibly he proved nothing, but the ability he had to galvanize everyone around him, that's what he proved to me. And I'll say this, yesterday, that meant a lot more than his individual success or lack thereof.
Usually I start off my takes with either me countering what you said, or I like to build my arguments, kind of radio style, you know. But this time I'm going to hit you with a little softball from my experiences. Tom Brady made me rethink what a 10 was. Let's go back into my social life when I was super single like you, Acho. You know, you used to think somebody was beautiful. You're like, that's the most beautiful person I ever met. And then you just throw them away in your RAM or your rim or whatever the hell you got on your head, hippocampus, somewhere, cerebellum. You just keep it up there. That's a 10. That's the finest person. And then you ever go somewhere, usually outside our borders, you go there and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. I just redefined what I thought perfection was. That's what Tom Brady did to me yesterday. But Acho is guilty of what I'm guilty of, which most athletes are guilty of. We only count what we see, but the things we don't see is what counts the most. Ooh, that's a bar. Wileyism. Cut that tape. Here are the Bucs before Tom Brady showed up. They thought this was a 10. Boy, stop. Coming off of 3 straight losing seasons. Coming off 12 straight seasons without making the playoffs. Coming off 17 straight seasons without a playoff win. Worst winning percentage in NFL history. And the worst winning percentage for any major American pro sports franchise. Yes, that includes my Clippers. And then all of a sudden, they just get Tom Brady in the building. And look at this, Acho, being real. Mike Evans didn't have a better year this year. Chris Godwin didn't have a better year this year. Matter of fact, they had the best duo in terms of receiving yardage last year. But you know what's great? To see that a team could be greater than a sum of its parts. How guys can have more impact despite not necessarily having more numbers. And that's what Tom Brady does. He runs a different calculation, y'all. He's performing a different equation that has led to the ultimate success more so than any other player in history. I end this lap by saying this. Tom Brady is in position to win his 7th Super Bowl. 7th Super Bowl. And nobody else in NFL history has even played in 7 Super Bowls. Boy, stop. Tom Brady out there laughing at cats while he laps them.
Tom Brady proved exactly what the expectations we had were. That this team, if they got Tom Brady, they were a Super Bowl bound team. We could all cut and slice it however we wanted to and picked it and literally micromanage it throughout the course of the season. But Tom Brady, the belief, like you said, Acho, getting guys to believe. But I will go a step further and say he proved it even on the football field. Last week, we talked about Tom Brady and what he did to not lose the game because he didn't create those turnovers. He didn't give the ball to his opponent. Well, this week he did, but then he had to bounce back. He had to be resilient when they needed him most. Not just because I say it, you need to believe, but because I live it. This is why you believe and you follow me as the leader, as the alpha male in this locker room. And Tom Brady did that. We talk about the 3 interceptions, but he also had some touchdown throws in that game, didn't he? He also had some extremely crucial third down conversions in that game. I mean, they were 64% on third down. And I'm not talking third and manageable. I'm talking third and long. Down distances that the Packers defense should have capitalized on, but he broke their back. He broke their will time in and time out. And to your point, Marcellus, it's the things that go unseen on that sideline. When the game got tight, when Aaron Rodgers came back and brought his team back and they were within striking distance, what does Tom Brady do? Well, we don't get to see it, but we've all been on the sideline. We've all been on the sideline when the leader comes up and say, hey, I got it. Don't trip. Follow me. And that's what Tom Brady brought, not just inside the locker room, but on the field. So he proved everything that we've seen him do in New England and what he provided for that franchise for over 19, 20 years. He's doing the same thing and has done the same thing for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. And the GOAT question, everybody talks about, oh, he's solidified the GOAT. That was solidified well before this season. This just took him to, in my opinion, another stratosphere where this guy he's in a stratosphere by himself solely, period. I'm talking nobody else, no other athlete is in this stratosphere. Let him go off into the sunset however he wants to. He can fall off any cliff he wants to next year. He can decide to retire. You've done enough.
I mean, here's the thing, G. Y'all know, unfortunately, we've probably all been to funerals at some point in our life. And at funerals, people get up there and all they do is speak about the positives as if the person they had no negatives. And that's what this really sounds like we're doing for Tom Brady right now. So can we just pump the brakes a little bit, G? Can they win the Super Bowl? Can we pump the brakes a little bit, G? LeBron James is also in that stratosphere. If you want to say any other athlete, can we just tap
I'm not going to pump the brakes.
Just tap him.
I'm not going to pump the brakes. I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to pump the brakes. I'm not going to pump the brakes because we do enough of trying to minimize what greatness looks like and what greatness is.
That's fair.
And I'll tell you this, Marcellus, you've alluded to it several times. None of us are even close to that Tom Brady ability as far as longevity, as far as what he's accomplished on the football field. Am I correct?
Correct. Yes.
So we don't know. We don't even understand the mentality that he has to prepare himself for every single day to get to that level, to make himself believe that, you know what, I haven't done anything yet. Reboot, reassess, and literally tell yourself, you know what, I got to do this all over again because they doubt me, but I still have more to prove to myself. Can I do it again? Can I top what I just did?
But, G, here's
I'm going to praise him because I've knocked him several times.
Here's where I'm going. I just want to make sure that the praise is properly dispersed. Now, again, I'm appreciating Tom Brady, but I'm appreciating what Tom Brady did for everybody else. Like, when I look at it, he had the second worst completion percentage this postseason. He had the second most interceptions this postseason. Tom Brady didn't throw for 450 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no picks. The praise I'm saying, I'm dispersing also to Bruce Arians. I'm dispersing to Todd Bowles. I'm dispersing as well to Byron Leftwich. The most impressive thing Tom Brady did yesterday, he didn't do. The most impressive thing Tom Brady did yesterday was what everybody else who never did before seemingly did yesterday because of Tom Brady. That's all I'm saying is it's not so much what Tom Brady did, it's what everybody else did, which speaks volumes of Tom Brady. I'm just not going to ignore the fact that his performance was rather to be galvanized. For me, that's just where it starts and where it stops.
I hear you, and I agree. I agree with that, but I think it goes even beyond just that locker room. The Tom Brady effect and impact, it goes across that field to the opponent, because in the back of their mind, they're thinking, man, this is a little different because Tom Brady done been there. Most of them aren't really concerned. Nobody was concerned. You said it. Nobody was concerned about this Bucs team when Jameis Winston was leading them at quarterback. But now everything is pretty much still intact, but there's one difference. It's Tom Brady. It's because they know he's capable of reaching a height mentally and physically, if need be. Given whatever is needed for him to go to, he can go there. And that is why I can't just minimize his play on the field and just credit all his praise to, I got them to believe. Yeah, we knew that he would get them to believe, but he still had to play to a level to where we thought, can he still do that at 43 years old?
Yeah, man. Greg breaking this down. This dude, Acho, I hear you. Acho is doing his praise with...
It's everywhere. I'm praising everybody. I'm just trying to...
Yeah, but we're doing our praise with an and you're doing your praise with a but. And there's a big difference, my therapist would say, because it makes you feel like, wait a minute, you didn't give me my full praise with that but statement. What Greg is talking about is something that we've all been through, whether it's on the football field, in a team atmosphere, or any relationship you've been through. Which version of yourself are you going to display in that relationship? We don't always give the same version of ourselves in every relationship. Be real. When there's extreme potential, you on your best behavior. I mean, when that text come in before you even get it, I'm back at you, girl. Now, when it's somebody you're like, I don't know yet, you be like, I holler. You know what I mean? And that's the difference between having Jameis Winston as your quarterback and Tom Brady. That said, there's two things about Tom Brady that amaze me. It amazes me. It makes me look in the mirror and say, Wiley, you got a lot of good things going, some bad things, but why you don't have that? Two things. One is his lack of entitlement. How he looks at the game. He has actually made mention of this. Google Tom Brady entitlement, you'll see these articles where he's like, the game of football doesn't owe me jack. Every day I have to go get it. I have to earn it. It's not given to me. I love that because even in success for me, I used to look around and be like, y'all owe me something for this. I played with a back surgery. I played with a broken foot, and I was still balling. And I'm like, y'all, the game owes me or somebody owes me. It didn't owe me jack. I wish I knew this at 25. The other thing is he doesn't get bored with success. And coaches used to always tell us that. Don't get bored with success. When you find your winning formula, your own personal antidote to success, don't get bored with it. I give you the example of me trying to play tennis as a hobby. And I always get bored with the rallies. Like, and after a while, I ain't gonna lie, I get bored. I'm like, it's time to strike. But it's not the time to strike. Next thing you know, unforced error, point for them. I'm like, damn. The point is, don't get bored with success. Tom Brady embodies that no matter what day, no matter what year 21. Sucker ain't bored with success. Coming up, Aaron Rodgers said after Sunday's loss that his future is uncertain. We'll tell you if he should want out of Green Bay. That's next. Speak for yourself.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. The Packers had the ball on the Bucs' 8-yard line late in the game with a chance to tie. But Aaron Rodgers threw 3 straight incompletions. Then on 4th down, head coach Matt LaFleur chose to kick a field goal. Packers never got the ball back. After the loss, Rodgers said that was not his decision. Then he was vague about his future in Green Bay. Y'all take a listen.
A lot of guys' futures that are, uncertain, myself included. That's what's sad about it most. Getting this far, obviously there's going to be an end to it at some point, whether we make it past this one or not. But just the uncertainty is tough, and the finality of it all. There's a lot of unknowns going into this offseason now. And I'm going to have to take some time away for sure and clear my head and just kind of see what's going on with everything. But it's pretty tough right now.
I mean, guys, the MVP of this league. He is the heart and soul of our football team. So, hell yeah, he better be back here. He's our leader.
Greg is back with us, but let's dive in. Yeah, get loose, Marcellus.
Spicy.
Get loose, Marcellus, for this one.
Man.
You up first, Sal.
Oh.
Should Aaron Rodgers want out of Green Bay?
No, he should not want out of Green Bay. My mind is telling me go. But my contract, my resume is telling me stay. Look, let me be serious over here. I love working at this network because I can sing songs like that, don't have to pay royalties. Is he still canceled? Whatever. Here, let me be serious. My mind may be willing, but if my circumstances are not complying, then it ain't happening. And it's not happening in Green Bay. One, the grass is not greener. Aaron Rodgers, sit still and water your own lawn. Because if you lose in the championship game in consecutive years, at worst, you're the fourth best team in the NFL. At worst. Now, I know it's been a little musical chair, so you could say maybe there's 5, 6 teams, but I would say that you're the third best team, fourth best team the last 2 years. You're that close. But where will you go? And then look at that opportunity as better than the one that you have. So that's part one. Part two is you don't have a no trade clause in your contract like Deshaun Watson does. Uh-oh. So that means if you don't have the opportunity to dictate terms where you go like Deshaun Watson can, you're at the mercy of the organization. Is this the same organization that you want to work on your behalf that also drafted the heir apparent at your position in the first round and moved up and gave up resources in Jordan Love? You think now they're going to get on board? Did you hear Matt LaFleur just now saying you better be back? And I think he echoes what they all think upstairs, that, yeah, we're going to succeed you very soon, 2-3 years, based on our schedule, based on our plan, but it's not going to be based on your terms. You ever been in the mindset where you're thinking about maybe this relationship ain't too good for me, I'm about to break up, and then they beat you to the punch and break up with you? Guess what you don't say? Okay, and you get everything your way. You say, okay, as long as this works for me, we can do this. So I'm looking at this situation as no way is Green Bay going to support Aaron Rodgers in the trade to anywhere desirable, anywhere that's a contending team. So no, he's staying still and trying to make it work in Green Bay.
Now, Aaron Rodgers needs to get out of Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers should want out of Green Bay. Green Bay is holding up and holding back Aaron Rodgers' legacy. We talk about Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time, going now to 10 Super Bowls. In 9 of those Super Bowls, he's had a top 10 defense that year. Aaron Rodgers, the one year he had a top 10 defense, guess what happened? He went to and he won the Super Bowl. The Packers are what's holding Aaron Rodgers back. Outside of his rookie year in 2018, if Aaron Rodgers is on the field, the Packers win at minimum 10 games. At minimum 10 games. Don't talk to me about, oh, well, Matt LaFleur is actually helping Aaron Rodgers. No, Mike McCarthy is helping Aaron Rodgers. No, Aaron Rodgers is helping them. And I think Aaron Rodgers realized that in the postgame yesterday. See, Mike McCarthy without Aaron Rodgers, 50% winning percentage. With Aaron Rodgers, 60% winning percentage. Mike McCarthy without Rodgers and Favre goes down to 37% winning percentage. Now, you might think that doesn't really matter, but it does. Because look at the coaches coaching Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. Andy Reid balls with Patrick Mahomes, but he also balled without Patrick Mahomes. Again, for the sake of Aaron Rodgers' legacy, he desperately needs out. Because when we start talking about these conversations, Aaron Rodgers, were you only the best of all time? Aaron Rodgers, are you one of the greatest of all time? Or Aaron Rodgers, are you actually a career underachiever based on how talented you are and how little you won as far as Super Bowls? Rodgers realizes he might finally need to go somewhere else to win because the Packers need Aaron Rodgers far more than Aaron Rodgers needs the Green Bay Packers.
This is really on the Green Bay Packers. And when Aaron Rodgers gets asked the question in the post game, and we hear his response, and he talks about there's a lot of uncertainty with a lot of guys. Marcellus, yes, they're at worst the fourth best team, if not the third best team right now, with that current roster as it stands.
Yeah.
But with all this uncertainty that Aaron's talking about, and talking about potentially losing his center, Corey Linsley, potentially losing Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, Robert Tonyan. I mean, there's so many, and I'm not even going to go to the defensive side of the ball, but there's so much uncertainty that it could look so different that I believe what Aaron's saying, I'm going to need to step back and get away and see what they're going to do. See what type of team they're going to really bring back here to see if I have the best possible option to compete for a championship again here. Does he want to stay? Yes. I'm going to tell you this. Everybody wants to stay with the team that drafts them. No one ever wants to just go, especially when you're with a winning franchise like the Green Bay Packers. You want to stay. I wanted to stay. It didn't work out. So what? I had to move on. And so Aaron Rodgers understands the business of it, and he's seen it with the guy who just sent him home. Marcel, as you talk about, yes, no trade clause, all that is very true. Mm-hmm. Yes, I don't think the Packers are going to just say, oh, where do you want to go? We'll send you where you want. No, I don't. That's probably not going to be the case.
Nope.
But with Tom Brady, he went to a situation and we all assumed, okay, that's Tom Brady. They got pieces. They have a chance. If the Packers are willing to sit down and make peace with Aaron Rodgers and say, okay, we're not going to send you somewhere where we're going to have to see you twice a year, but we'll send you somewhere else and just break this marriage that we've had on good terms, I could see him going to a better situation and elevating that team to a potential championship. That's how great a player he is.
I don't think there can be good terms, big dog. And why there can't be good terms is just like the woman who once told me, Emmanuel, you wasted years of my life. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm looking at the Packers like, y'all have wasted years of my life. Greg Jennings, in his 9 playoff losses, the Packers defense gives up 36 points a game, Aaron Rodgers, he has 45 touchdown passes in the playoffs, tied for second with Joe Montana. And what does he have to show for it, Aaron Rodgers is saying, wait, y'all haven't drafted a skill position in the first round since, y'all drafted Jordan Love. Y'all ain't drafted a skill position in the first round since I showed up. Meanwhile, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year, and they spent their first-round pick on a skill position. So the rich getting richer, and I'm out here impoverished, living in poverty. Aaron Rodgers and these Packers, I don't think they can mend, because Aaron Rodgers is going to look up and be like, wait a second. I was prepared for this game, for the biggest game of my career in a long time. And Matt LaFleur, you're going to tell me that, you had a bad day, you let the team down. I showed up, 3 touchdown passes, and defense, y'all going to give up 31 points? Like, y'all going to do this to me again? There is no cute makeup. There is no way this can all work together and they can all sing Kumbaya. The last thing I'm going to say on this lap is this. Let's not act like Aaron Rodgers can't have this kind of success somewhere else. It's not like the defenses in the league aren't better than the Packers defense. Okay, great. He has Devontae Adams, but it's not like you can't go out there and find 2 top-flight receivers or at least 2 above-average receivers. So Aaron Rodgers is looking around like, I know I got some good pieces here, but those pieces that y'all deem are good, I'm actually making even better.
I hear what you're saying, Acho, but to Marcellus's point, if there is any chance of him going somewhere where he could have a chance, he better not make it a nasty breakup. It can't be. He better go in there and just talk peacefully and try to get somewhere where, again, like I said, they're not going to have to see him twice a year. Because if he goes in there demanding, he has no control. I get what you're saying. Yes, he deserves it all. And he should be able to go in there and demand what he wants. But he doesn't have that positioning like Tom Brady did. He doesn't have that freedom and flexibility. He's constrained. He's restricted. He's bound by contract. So they have the upper hand right now. And so in order for him to wiggle his way out, you got to use that mouthpiece, bro. You better tell him how much you love this place and how much you want to be here. But But that's where you use the but. But my career is coming to an end, and I want to be somewhere where I feel like I can win. And unless you guys show me that you are going to put together a roster, like you said, now I bet you will see a receiver taken in the first round this year. But he's going to look at it like it might be a year too late. It might be too late.
Man, this is a beautiful drama that is unfolding right before our eyes. I just pray that I don't feel like that beautiful woman that Acho used to date and that you're going to waste years of my life doing this show with you, Acho. Hope I don't feel like that beautiful woman. Here's the thing, guys. Y'all stop acting like Aaron Rodgers is in some bad position. Not you, Greg, as much as Acho. Talk about, what has he got? What has he done? Here's some nuggets. Aaron Rodgers has made the playoffs 10 out of the last 13 seasons since he's been in Green Bay. Let's go a little deeper than that. Are you an outcast? New England Patriots have 11 playoff appearances. Who's second? Green Bay. Okay. But Acho keeps saying he's going to go somewhere else. One, he's not going to go to anywhere good in the NFC because why would the Green Bay Packers help another team beat them in the NFC? So bye-bye this whole San Francisco 49ers and Jimmy G situation. Bye-bye New Orleans Saints and needing a quarterback and Sean Payton. Bye-bye when you talk about the Rams and Sean McVay looking at Jared Goff sideways. That ain't happening. Oh, you want to go to the AFC? Boy, stop. You want to go against Kansas City? You think you're going to win a Super Bowl going to any other team other than Kansas City? And they got Patrick Mahomes. Oh, no, I'm going to go to Buffalo. Oh, no, they got Josh Allen. Okay, well, let me go to the Ravens. They got Lamar Jackson. Well, what about Tennessee? They got Ryan Tannehill. But you could try and make a point there. What about Cleveland? Man, even with Aaron Rodgers, Cleveland ain't going to win no Super Bowl, but I digress. Point of all of this is simple. You and Matt LaFleur have won 26 games and lost 6 in the regular season. You know what? That's the most wins by any quarterback head coach combination in their first 2 years. Hey, I just told you the road. Where you gonna go, Acho? There's nowhere for him to go but stay still and water his own grass. Water your grass, Aaron.
Look, Sal, this sounds like those people that stay in bad relationships because you let your significant other tell you, oh, I'm the best you ever gonna get. They don't get no better than me. Yeah. Oh, you can try somewhere else, but I'm telling you, you're gonna come back. No, Sal. Whenever you hear those lies, run, Aaron Rodgers.
And she took me to the NFC Championship game in consecutive years. She might have a point. That's what I think. That's my pushback. Coming up, Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady are both headed to the Super Bowl. He the one threw 2 picks last year and won this year. But we'll tell you which quarterback had the more impressive win Sunday. Next, speak for yourself. You ain't absolved of blame. Welcome back. Tom Brady led the Bucs to their 3rd straight road win this postseason, and now they're headed to the Super Bowl. Brady threw 3 interceptions, but he also finished with 3 touchdown passes to help the Bucs build a big 18-point lead in the 3rd quarter. Patrick Mahomes is headed to his 2nd straight Super Bowl after finishing with over 300 yards passing with 3 touchdowns and 0 turnovers. Greg is back, but Acho, whose win was more impressive, Brady or Mahomes?
Y'all keep making this pivotal error in saying it was Brady's win. Had you said the Bucs win, I would have said sure. But since you said Brady or Mahomes' win, Patrick Mahomes' win was more impressive. So, Tom Brady threw more interceptions in the second half of yesterday's game than Patrick Mahomes has thrown in his playoff career. Now, I understand Patrick Mahomes only played 5 playoff games, but, let's just put that in context. Stop calling it Tom Brady's win. Call it Todd Bowles' win. Call it Shaq Barrett's win. Call it JPP's win. But let's stop this lazy narrative of so many other deserving players and people of praise, and we're just going to lump it all to Tom Brady. Since you want to do that, I'm going to shout out Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes is the one that threw 3 touchdowns with no interceptions. Patrick Mahomes is the one who had a 76% completion percentage. As bad as Josh Allen was as far as a big-time moment, he didn't show up. Well, can we talk about Patrick Mahomes showing up in that full screen? Because big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. Yesterday, 76% completion percentage, 2nd highest this season. 3 passing touchdowns, 4th highest this season. 127 passer rating, 4th highest this season. So on the biggest stage, with the brightest lights, with the most pressure, Patrick Mahomes played his best. On the biggest stage, with the brightest lights, with the most pressure. Tom Brady played one of his worst 4 performances of the season. Both outcomes for the team were the same. I get that. Give the team the same amount of praise that each team deserves. But if you're going to say Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, then Patrick Mahomes' win was by far and away more impressive.
Y'all got to remember that my co-host is a gifted wordsmith. Instead of answering the question as advertised, he wants to slice up the question. So then once he slices up the question, you, the viewer, has to decide, am I going to go on this side or this side instead of what was right in front of you? And then he does that. He tried to make sure y'all couldn't hear what I just said because I'm really I know all the tricks. This ain't my first rodeo. Anyway, I'm going to answer the question, okay? It's Tom Brady won. And I'm not going to answer the question in full like I should. I'm going to put on my Kango that I don't have, and I'm going to use Bruce Arians' words. He said, it's the belief that Tom Brady, gave everybody in this organization that this could be done. It only took one man. Wow, you know how real that is for him to say that, to swallow his pride, also in part undermine his power and perception to say it's about one guy changing all of this. And let's not forget what all of this is. This was a team coming off of 3 straight losing seasons. And in their first year with Tom Brady, they're in the Super Bowl. I look at this situation as something pretty simple. Let's go back to the classic matchups of mind versus matter. Now, we heard that term, and we usually think about our own selves, our own lives. Let's talk about it when it displays itself in sports form. The dominant attribute of the Bucs is mental. Being real, they're a talented team, super talented team. But in comparison to the Kansas City Chiefs, especially offensively, I don't know, a slight edge to Kansas City there. So mind versus matter. Chiefs mental, the belief in Tom Brady and next man up. And then you look at the Chiefs, it's physical, almost just because we're that much better than you in terms of us going out there offensively and running this track meet. So when I see those two things collide, I look at it like the odds makers may say that the advantage is to the Chiefs, but we know mind over matter when it's mind versus matter. So in this situation, it's more impressive to be Tom Brady. Tom Brady went out there and played against a team on the road that had the MVP and had it 18 points up on that same team and still ends up in victory. Versus, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, y'all playing a dude who just was in his first Pro Bowl this year in Josh Allen and a franchise that hasn't even been to this level in 25 years. Just different animals. More impressive? Easily, Tom Brady.
Yeah, I'm with you, Marcellus. It's Tom Brady, and for a lot of those reasons you mentioned. But look, we've all been in different places at different times throughout our career. Acho, you jumped into this. Now you're in a different place, and you're making it work. Large in part because of your excellence that you bring to the table, and large in part because of the partner sitting to your right, who brings a level of expertise and excellence as well. So you guys complement each other very well, but the culture had to be right. He had to already have established the culture. Well, the culture wasn't already established in Tampa Bay. He had to establish and literally solidify that culture down there, something that a player who had been in New England for 20 years and then go somewhere else and say, you know what, I'm going to not just bring my talent, because that's not even the greatest attribute that you're going to get that I offer. The greatest attribute is exactly what Marcellus is talking about. My mind, my understanding, my ability to get guys to do what we saw in all those highlights, embrace who I am and what I offer, not what I do on the football field. That is what was most impressive and why his win is most impressive. We all knew and believed what the Kansas City Chiefs were. Patrick Mahomes didn't do anything out of the ordinary. I'm not knocking what he did. Yep. He's special. It was electric. It was cool to watch. But we all came to expect that with Tyreek Hill, with Travis Kelce, with all these moving parts. We expect that out of him. But when you have to get guys to buy in, you have to make sure we're all on the same page. I have to get you to embrace me. I have to then embrace you. I have to learn something completely new. I have to adapt. You have to adapt. We have to converge and really thrive and start becoming more succinct. That was more challenging and more impressive. And I'm not going to even mention like Marcellus did.
Please don't. You've mentioned
the guys who he had to do it again.
Gee,
Say it, Greg. I love Greg, my favorite.
I couldn't imagine being the spouses of you and Marcellus, because y'all don't know Y'all don't know how to stick to a script of a conversation. Like, we're talking about whose win was more impressive yesterday. And for some reason, I start listening to G talk about Tom Brady over the last 20 years and all he's accomplished in his career and his life, who he's married to. I start talking about Tom Brady, like, wanting to go say hi to his son after the game. G's talking about his career at Michigan and the touchdown pass he threw against Penn State in 1997. I'm like, yo,
context,
can we talk about the impressive wins yesterday? Sal, you do the same thing. Again, Greg, I understand all of Tom Brady's amazing accolades over the years. But yesterday, one had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Yesterday, one had 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Yesterday, one team dismantled the hottest team in football. Yesterday, one team beat a team who were now questioning why they didn't go for it on 4th down to maybe tie or win the game. Yes, they both won the game. One did it more impressively. That one is Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, man, I got so much to say and so little time to say, so let's get to it. Tom Brady more impressive. Why? Because in his first year, he beat a team that was in the NFC Championship just last year, so you know they're a great team. And this year's MVP, it's going to be a 3-time MVP that he just slayed in his first year. Let's talk about that versus just beating the guy who just went to his first Pro Bowl. Let's talk about how he had to go through Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers versus Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen. A little different. Anyway, let me stay focused, because he didn't have Antonio Brown. Versus somebody had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce out there going for 290 yards. Boy, stop. And most importantly, I saved my best for last, Tom Brady did it against a better defense. Ooh, Acho, no comeback. Coming up, Patrick Mahomes could win his 2nd Super Bowl, and he's only 25 years old. Goodness. We'll tell you if his Chiefs are already a dynasty. Next, speak for yourself.
Speak for yourself. The Chiefs made the most out of the 3rd straight AFC Championship game Sunday. They took care of the Bills and are on their way to their 2nd straight Super Bowl. KC has a chance to become the first repeat champions since the Patriots did it 16 seasons ago. So, Sal, are you ready to call the Chiefs a dynasty?
Nope. Not even close, because I'm not going to get fooled by almost a dynasty. And I've been here before. You've been here before. Let's go back in time, get in our time machine. I'm getting in first because I need more space than you get in if there's some room left. All right, 2013, 2014, the Seattle Seahawks made the Super Bowl in year 2 and year 3 with a special young quarterback by the name of Russell Wilson. Here's a story. And they were led by one unit that was amazing, their defense. And they had a head coach, veteran head coach, that was a great coach in Pete Carroll. How did that turn out? Was that a dynasty? Would you say that was a dynasty? You would say that was you wouldn't finish the dynasty, right? All right, let's go now. Let's talk about a team in their year 2 and year 3 quarterback. Special. Patrick Mahomes, veteran head coach Andy Reid, special. And a seemingly unstoppable unit in the offense. Any parallels there? Since Acho doesn't know what a dynasty looks like, just looking at his eyes, and I know he's going to come back with his counterpunch, let me tell you what a real dynasty looks like. Let's go back to when my daddy's like, boy, you don't know about them Steelers. Them Steelers, 1970 Steelers, 4 Super Bowls in 6 seasons. What about the 80s? When I saw this, the 49ers, 4 Super Bowls in 9 seasons. 90s Cowboys, 3 Super Bowls in 4 seasons. Patriots, once, twice. And then the dude who's going to face Patrick Mahomes in their this year, he already got 2 on his record and may start a 3rd one based off of the same standard that anyone who says that the Chiefs have a dynasty is lying to themselves about.
I don't think so, big dog. I think I'll give it to you like this. I'm going to splice this up, dice this up real quick. Within NFL locker rooms and organizations, I think the Chiefs are already perceived as a dynasty. Outside, I will say they're not. Let's go back to your Seahawks reference, because I was in the league in the 13-14 season.
Okay.
Had to play the Seahawks, so I was on the Eagles in the NFC. we already kind of perceive them as a dynasty, meaning they went to the Super Bowl, they won the Super Bowl, they went to another Super Bowl, and you know they are about to be consistently excellent. Now, in retrospect, looking at the Seahawks, you're like, y'all were close. Like you said, y'all were a dynasty, but they ain't put that Y at the end. Like, they was close.
Yeah.
But the Seahawks, but this Chiefs team a little bit different. Why are they different? They've won. Patrick Mahomes' Chiefs have won 25 of the last 26. When have we seen that before? Patriots, 2003, 2004. They were a dynasty. Dolphins, 72, 73. They were a dynasty. So when you start trying to delegate between what makes a team a dynasty, 3 straight conference championships, 2 straight Super Bowl appearances, that is very dynasty-like. Now, I'm not so crazy sellers to say this. They're not a dynasty yet. In 2 weeks from now, I will come on this show if they win back-to-back. They're a dynasty because you have to talk about appreciation. You have to talk about inflation. You have to talk about depreciation. I don't know that we're going to see a team win 4 out of 9. If we do see a team win 4 out of 9, it's going to be a team like the Chiefs in this day and age with the salary cap and with everybody being tugged at in different ways as opposed to back in the 80s when teams weren't worried about being on Twitter and being a star, etc. So I think this is as close to a dynasty as we're going to see. And I think you could probably go far enough as to say they already are.
We're coming back to this conversation. I got notes for you. They're not a dynasty. Coming up, I got to guess. All right, Matt LaFleur made a controversial. I can do this, but I can't do my take. Matt LaFleur made a controversial call on 4th down Sunday. We'll tell you if we can defend his decision. That's next. Speak for yourself. You want to hear my take right now, Archie? Welcome back. The Packers had the ball on the Bucs' 8-yard line late in the game with a shot to tie it up. Aaron Rodgers threw 3 straight incomplete passes. Then on 4th down, Matt LaFleur opted to kick a field goal. The Packers never got the ball back, and Rodgers said that was not his decision. After the loss, LaFleur said he felt like it was the right decision, but it did not work out. Macho, can you defend Matt LaFleur's decision to kick a field goal?
Big dog, I wish we had all day for this one. At first, I wanted to. And at first, I thought I could, because I hate analytics. I hate analytics.
You hate?
I do, but here's why.
Charles Barkley?
No, not like that. Here's why, because analytics don't necessarily factor into the emotion of a game. They don't factor in the emotion of the moment. They don't factor in how moments and games pivot. Again, there's analytics in card games, and that doesn't factor into, well, how is the game currently trending?
The flow of it.
Analytics don't take that into account, which is why analytics exists. Now, I wanted to defend LaFleur, but then I thought this, Sal. Either way, you got to score a touchdown. Right? It's 4th and goal, and you got to get a touchdown and an extra point. So Matt LaFleur is like, well, let me kick the field goal to make it a 5-point game. But even if you kick the field goal, Sal, you still then have to go get a touchdown. So the question now becomes this. Would you rather try to get a touchdown with 8 yards away from the end zone? Or would you rather kick a field goal, give the ball back to the Buccaneers, hopefully get a stop, they punt it to you, now you still got to go get that same touchdown, but now you might have to travel 50, 60, 70 yards to do so. Tried to defend the decision early on, I couldn't.
Yeah, this one you can't defend it. Not if you're using logic or if you're using math, and that's the only way that I attack any argument. So there's no way to defend this. This is absurd. And I love analytics, actually. Forget your flow. I don't want to hear about your flow. Facts over feelings, homeboy. Numbers over names. That's how I look at a game situation. But this one is simple. He made a horrible decision. I mean, you know how they always run those simulations in games, and 1 out of 100,000 simulations would say that you should do what Matt LaFleur did. And I would question that one. In this situation, simply stated, he was in a context that 66 teams have faced before, as far back as they can record it. We're talking about a 4th and goal from inside the 10-yard line and under 2:30 remaining in the game. God, I love these geeks that go out there and do it because I'm right behind them like, what is it? 66 times, Acho, teams have been faced with this exact same circumstance. You know what they did? 65 of those teams went for it on 4th down. You mean 1? And you're the 1? It's crazy. It made no sense because, like you said, it would have been so obvious in logic, we need a touchdown. So let's get the touchdown now. You know why? Because if not, you deflate your team. If not, all of a sudden the flow that you're talking about, you get all of that sucked out in terms of momentum. You think about how these guys had to feel when they were like, Coach doesn't even believe in us. In this situation, does he think we're going to get the ball back and be able to do this? The numbers didn't even support it. You're down 5 now, and you're sitting there like, we still need a touchdown. Now, if he were down 3 or a field goal, I got you, Matt LaFleur. I know in that moment, he probably couldn't even collect his thoughts to fall on this sword or just really realize the error he made. But I hope now he understands. He basically, with that decision, and there's no guarantee they would have scored.
Of course not.
But he took all of the air and opportunity away from this team.
If we're being real, I don't think he would have scored. Like, let's keep it a buck. He's fourth and goal from the 8.
Yeah.
You was first and goal from the 8, you ain't score. You second and goal from the 8, you ain't score. You was third and goal from the 8, you ain't score. So he had opportunities and still didn't score. But my thing is, even if you don't score, now the Bucs have the ball at the 8-yard line. You still got to get a stop, and you still have to score.
Acho, who scored the most touchdowns in the red zone drives, not only this season, the highest percentage for any team in a single season since...
I'd assume the Packers.
Yeah, 80% of the
but
time,
it's different.
bro.
Like your
I'm rolling the dice.
66% of the time is, if you're at the 1, that's different than being at the 8. If you're at the 2, that's different than being at the 8.
Roll those dice and
you
let's
don't like
figure
to
it out.
gamble.
Oh, man, I can't even gamble with you, dog. Coming up, T-Superfan Uncle Jimmy joins us. Speaking of rolling the dice, you don't want to miss what he's got to say about his team next. By yourself. Man, they should kill you. Before we go, Uncle Jimmy is here. His Chiefs are headed back to the Super Bowl. Floor is yours, Uncle Jimmy. Gloat.
I told y'all Friday, the Bills is hot garbage.
Yep.
They don't even qualify as wannabes. Hey, man, them boys is soft. SKWFT. Soft. See, y'all don't want to listen to me because I'm the old man on the show. But y'all probably listen to Malik Mills or somebody if he came out and told y'all. If you can't hear talking about, hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought the Chiefs was finished when we beat the Mafia? Y'all thought that we was kidding? Flexing on you boys, just like Popeye on that spinach. If Pat is the captain, then I am the lieutenant. Now we the type to kick your ass and grind like we broke. Tom Brady's that old QB, he ain't got it like Mahomes. Now I'm riding around your city, turning up and doing the most, cause the Bucs is trying to stop us from winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What?
That is original rap cadence on a new song.
He was a little offbeat.
A little, yeah. That's all
Say it again, Wiley.
What? All you missing was a raw. Curtis Blow Ross. Nah, you killed that, but y'all won't kill it in the Super Bowl. We'll see, though. Fox Bet Live is next. Go get a